Welcome to the fastest stop in town. Today, Masechtas Bava Batra Daf Kuf Tes Vav. We're going to begin on Kuf Tes Vav Amud Aleph by the very top with the word Esvei. So we were learning in the previous daf with regard to Ishas B'na, regarding a woman being able to inherit from her son, in which we said that actually doesn't take place. The son is able to be Yerush from the mother, but not vice versa. And one of the things that we learned also from the extra words is that just like in Ishas Baila Ein Habal Yorishas Ishta B'Kever, which we learned previously, that when it comes to a person who inherits, it has to be something that they already have, not something which they're fit to inherit. And therefore, if they would die first, and then subsequently, let's say his wife's mother would die, for example, and she would have been the next in line to inherit. Nonetheless, we say that he doesn't get, because Ein Abal Yerush as Ishto B'Kever. So to an Ishas B'na as well, if the child dies, Ein Ben Yerush as Imo B'Kever. Same idea. Okay, so with this we continue the following question. Esvei. Rabbi Yochanan or Rabbi Yehuda ben Shimon Ha'ishas B'na. So our Mishnah said that a woman, with regard to acquiring from her son, Va'ishas Baila, regard a wife to her husband, V'acha Aim, as well as the mother's sibling, Manchilin V'loy Noichlin. So it says clearly that it goes only in one direction, namely that focusing specifically on the mother to the child can inherit when the mother dies, but the mother will not inherit when the child dies. It says Beferish V'loy Noichlin. It says the Rashbam Alma Ein Ha'aim Nochelas as B'na. It's not true. So we see clearly that the mother is not Yerush from the child. So Amalei Mishnah Seinu Ein Yodea Mishana. Says the Mishnah, I don't know who learned it. Says Rashbam Denu Iker Dihi Gufa Kasha. In itself is a good question. I'm not sure who said that. So Malay Malay Rabbi Zachariah ben Akatzavi Doi Darish Matos. Maybe it's like the Shita of Zachariah ben Akatzav. He doesn't learn out the drasha of Matos, which we saw a Hekesh before, that just like the daughter is Yerush, the pasuk says the daughter is Yerush from the mother, so to the son is Yerush from the son. But the question was, do we learn out that just like when it comes to inheriting from the father, Ben Kohen Labas, so too the mother, Ben Kohen Labas? According to Rabbi Zechariah ben Katzav, the son and daughter actually split evenly this Yerusha. Says Rashbam, Hekesh Matos Kaminul El. They both get the same thing. No, we cannot establish our Mishnah like that. Says Rashbam, we're going to see, it's pretty clear from our Mishnah, in fact, that the son will get before the daughter, not that it's split evenly. It mentions ubnei achos, which is referring to uncles. The Tana b'nei achos will b'nais achos. It specifically mentions the b'nei achos will b'nais achos. So why is it that it doesn't mention b'nos? Says the Rashbam, shahabanim noichlin es doidehen, that children can inherit from their uncles, vo habanais, but the daughters will not inherit from the uncles. Vo habanos achos. V'amrina l'may helchasa. What does this come to tell us? It doesn't mean that if there's no one else in the line that this girl will not be able to get, but it just means a kadem, that if there's boys and girls, so the boys will come first. Our Mishnah is clearly not like him either, because he holds that it would be split up evenly. But our Mishnah is mashmal kadim, that the son would get. V'tani didan memanavshach. So our Tana memanavshach, says the Rashbam, Klaimer, mahu daito the spherule tarti. What exactly is this logic? That first of all, the Mishnah says ben kolam labas menechse aim, right? Tani ishas ima v'lo habasas ima v'nafkalan le'el mehakesha dematos. The spherule the in isha yereshas is bana. So what are we saying? We're saying again that in the case of a son and a daughter, not like Rabbi Zechariah ben Katzav, Rather, like the Tanakama, that we have the son inherit, the boy gets before the girl. You're splitting hairs, you're splitting this hekesh. You can't make a hekesh halfway. If you do make this comparison, Ishanami Tirashas Bana. So the hekesh tells us that a mother will inherit from the child. Then how would you know this? Right? The only way we know Ben Kunim Labas is only because of the Hekesh of Matos. So Oyam Darish Matos. So if we do Darish Matos, that's why Ben is Kunim Labas. The question is, how do we know this whole din regarding Nixei Aim? Shani Hachin, you ever called the pasuk of Chol Bas Yereshes Nachi Reshes the Einu Moreshes. You have a Gezeres HaKasav. That's the reason why. It's just pasuk says that the mother is Yereshes, Einu Moreshes. So she can cause someone to inherit, but not the other way around. Question 7. Elodin Yerushas Tuli B'Hakesha Damati Aim Lamati Av. Sha'aim Yereshes as Bina, that the mother is Yeresh from the son, and Sha'ben Kaidim Labas B'Nichse Aim. Even when it comes to the mother's inheritance, giving over to the children, Ben Kaidim Labas. Next Mishnah. Says the Masnizin. Seder Nachalois Kachu. This is the order, even though we kind of did this. Ish Kiyom Usuvein Ein Loi. So a person dies, doesn't have any sons. Then it goes to the daughter. So what do we see? Clearly, Ben Kaidim Labas. The son goes before the daughter. Says the Rashba. Ruvain Kaidim Medina. So let's say Yaakov dies, and he has the children of Leah, Ruvain and Dinah. So Ruvain comes before Dinah. Also, all anyone who comes from Ruvain. Let's say Ruvain dies. Then Lirashas Yaakov could gain Mace Ruvain. Ruvain died. Chanach beno kain Medina. So the grandchild Chanoch, which is Ruvain's son, will come before Dinah. Lirash Nechse Yaakov. So that's how it works. So it's not just that the son is first, but Kol Yitzirecha Shel Ben Kaidim Labas. So the grandchild or Ruvain's son will come before Dinah, his sibling. Bas Kaidim Achin. And we said after you have a daughter. Daughter comes before the brothers of the mace. And therefore, Yitzirecha Shel Bas Kaidim Achin. So too, if the daughter's not alive, but the daughter has another child, so then that child gets. Achin Kaidim Achia Av. So the brothers come before the father's brother, the uncle of the mace. Yitzirecha Shel Achin Kaidim Achia Av. Zeklal. It's interesting that it totally skips over the father. There's obviously a reason for that. Zeklal. Kol HaKaidim Benachla Yitzirecha Kaidmin. Whoever comes first, also their children come first. The Av Kaidim L'chol Yitzirecha. And it throws in at the end, the father comes before all Yitzirecha. What does that mean? It says Rashba. Lirash Benoi Obito, to inherit his son or daughter. Shemesu L'chol Yitzirecha. Dahainu Achi HaMeis, that the father comes before the brother of the mace. Ukvar Navkalan Bereish Pirkin Mevarta da Av Kaidim La'achin. Vavarta means that the father goes before the brothers of the mace. V'davkim Yoitzi Yerechai. Yoitzi Yerecha Shel Beno Kaidim L'chol Adam. However, the Yoitzi Yerecha of the child comes before everyone. Okay. So it says the Gemara, Tanruma. Bain, Ein Liel Ben. I only know if you have a son. Ben Habain. Let's say the son has a son. O Bas Habain. O Ben Bas Habain. Like not just a grandchild, great grandchild. Menayin that he comes first. Talmud Loimer Ein Lo Ayin Olav. The fact says Ein Lo Ayin Olav. The extra yud is Ayin Olav. It's also more kedushin. Bas Ein Liel Bas. If there's no son, it goes to the daughter. What if there's no daughter? Then we have to look into. Maybe Ein Liel Bas. What if there's Bas Habas? What is your daughter is a daughter? Uben Habas. Your daughter is a son. Ubas Ben Habas. Let's say your daughter has a son or a daughter. Menayin Talmud Ein Lo Ayin Olav. So it's the same thing that Yoitzi Yerechai comes first. As we continue to Kuf Tes Vav Amud Beis. Okay, Tzad. So how does this all go down? So Nachla, says the Rashbam, Hachi Nami Amrina and Ayin level Mala. Look above. Shim Kolez Zar Lagamri. Let's say all the children below are gone, you don't have children, grandchildren, nothing, then you have to go upwards by the father. Says the Gemara, Nachla memashmeshes v'oilechas ad Ruvain. So the Nachla will search up until Ruvain. Says the Rashbam, Shim Elo Av. So again, you don't have a child, you don't have a son, there's no daughter. So then we look at the father, there's no father. V'lo ach, there's no brother. V'lo benach, and then the brother also doesn't have a kid. V'lo achis, doesn't have sisters. V'lo ben achis, and the sisters don't have kids. V'lo b'nei b'neihem ad oilam, they have no kids at all. V'lo avi ha'av, there's no grandfather. V'lo avi achi ha'av, the father doesn't have a brother. V'lo b'nei achi ha'av, the father doesn't have a brother. His father's brother doesn't have kids. V'lo achis ha'av, his fathers have sisters. V'lo b'nei achos ha'av, and his father's sisters don't have kids. Machzir lo mata lo mal, we keep going up and down. Ad Korayv Abayseim ad Ruvain, go all the way up to Ruvain. Which means we never go bust to the relatives of the mother. Shabayit Kenacher Avi Yavi Ovin, we go up to the father's father, etc. And it's a huge Rashbam of all the different order. But basically that's the idea, that if a person doesn't have these close relatives, eventually we're going to hit them somewhere along the line. V'leima ad Yaakov, so it says, we go until Ruvain. How about why Ruvain? How about Yaakov? Says Rashbam, she makes Ruvain hu v'chol zaro. Let's say Ruvain, all of his kids are gone. Until Yaakov, go to Yaakov. Im ein Yaakov, then Shimon v'Levi yarshin as haroy Ruvain. Achim, there's Shimon and Levi, who are the brothers of Ruvain, would inherit. The havilahu achi avi avi av aviv. Okay, your father's father's brother. Okay, so Rabbi Gemiri delod kolish. Shivta. So Abaye says, if that would be the case, then you would find that one Shevet would be closed up from Yisrael completely. And so explains Rabbeinu Chananel, Reuven did not lav davka el meneshahu Shevet Rishon Nafdu. And the only reason why he mentioned him is because he's the first Shevet mentioned. Doesn't mean Davka Reuven, could be any of the brothers. Says the Rashbam, Imkein nimsa Shevet echad kol Yisrael. There's no way a Shevet has been removed. The children of Yaakov have never been gone. So basically, the reason why we don't go up to Yaakov is because you will eventually hit someone at the very least once you get to Reuven. Okay. If anyone says, I want my daughter to inherit together with my son's daughter, so let's say your son's not alive, but you have a granddaughter, and you want your granddaughter and your daughter to equally inherit, even though the truth is that really it should go to Bas Haben. If you're Nasi Shemi Yisrael in Shemin Lo, even if you're a Nasi Shemi Yisrael, doesn't matter who you are, we're not going to listen to you. Sheinu Elo Maisa Sidukim. This whole action is actually Maisa Sidukim. That we're not going to allow you to just decide how Yerusha should take place when we learn out, even that Drush, through Ayin Alav, that in fact it needs to go to your granddaughter. Now, the Pasuk doesn't say that. The Pasuk really mentions about a son and a daughter. But for the fact that you want to ignore Torah Shemal Peh, that's Maisa Sidukim. Desani, Ba'arba Ve'esrim Tevis, on the 24th of Tevis, Tavne Ledinana. So we had the this law that was built up. Says Rashbam, this is Megillus Tainus, that what happened, that and then it's mentioned all the different things that took place on these different days, and we were able to basically go against the Tzedukim. Shayit Tzedukim Oimrim Tirish Habas Im Bas Habein. The Tzedukim actually made the statement that the son's daughter has equal rights than the daughter. So Nitlahen Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai Yermelhen Shaitim Enayin Zeh Lochem. How do you know this? Adam Shechziru Davar Chutz Mizaken Echad. There's one of the Tzedukim that did speak up. Most people, they don't have any answers. They don't know what they're talking about. But this guy did. Shahaya Mefadfeit Kenegdai. So what exactly happened over here? Well, let's see a couple more lines. Remember, ma bas beno. When it comes to your son's daughter, sheba mekoyach beno. She's only coming from the koyach of your son. Tirashanu. You say that you can give her some Yerusha. So Bito, your very own daughter, haba mekoyach, she's coming from the koyach of the mace. Well, koshkin she should acquire. So Kara and this Rabbi Yochanan called the love on him as a mikra hazeh. Ela b'nei seir hachayri yoshvi aretz. These are the b'nei seir. Lotan, V'shoival, V'tzivoin, and we'll focus on a couple names, V'ana. Uksiv, and furthermore the pasuk says, Eila b'nei tzivoin, the V'aya V'ana. So it's interesting what exactly is. It says, these are the b'nei Seir. Who are the children of Seir? One of them was Ana. And who is one of the children of Tzivoin? Ana. So it's a little bit hard to understand. El Mulamid Shabbat Tzivoin Al Imo V'hoylet Ana. So what ended up happening was that Tzivoin had relations with his mother and gave birth to Ana. So they both could be the case. He was really the grandson of Ana, and therefore there's the same din as sons, that he gets a Yerusha before the sister. Okay. So Vidilma Treya Nahavi, maybe there was two. So Marabo Amina Milsa Doloy Emer Shvar Malka. You said something which was not said by Shvar Malka, Manhu Shmuel, Igadi Amri, Amra Papa, Amina Milsa Doloy Emer Shvar Malka, Manhu Rabba. Omer Kra, the passage says, Hu Anna de Mikara. He was always the same, is always the same person. That's the second person. Look at the Rashba. Sadak Ubaitus, Talmidi Antigonus, Ishaichai. We know Antigonus Yisaicho because he was in the basically the beginning of Pirkei Avos, but he had two students by the name of Sadik and another student called Baitus. By Yishainim Utalmidim Mashikibul Mantignus, and he used to learn and teach them things. For example, Altiu Kavana Mashamshas Arav, which is again his Pirkei Avos. But Tohal Talmidim Kach Shahoy Yisayim. They thought the Hachikamer. This is what it means. Ivdul Makoim serve Hashem. And don't get paid, don't get any reward. There's no reward, no haba, nothing. Yomi, they said, it's crazy. Why would I want to do this? Cain. All the words of Chachamim must be foolish. Because they misunderstood the meaning of that Mishnah, they basically went off the derech. They're called Sadoikin because of Sadoik, the student of Antigonus. Ubaitusin al Shem Baitus, and they were called Baitusin because of Baitus. Again, one of the other students. And this is Elvis the Reb Nosson. So he says like this: Karl of Mikra, Sha'ana made him Sha'ana Benoi Shel Tzivoin Haya. We know that Anna was actually, it says, was the son, was the child of Tzivoin, right? But Karle ben Seir, and nonetheless, Anna is also called ben Seir. So how could Anna be the son of Seir and also the son of Tzivoin? Seir Avi Aviv. It also says that he inherited from Seir, who was his grandfather. We see that the grandchild inherited just like the child itself. Okay, that's what it says. So Alma Benoi Haya. So it was really his son. So again, what ended up happening? That he was really the grandson of Anna, and therefore we have the same din as sons, but he gets the Yerusha before the sister. Okay, so that's how we derive it. And again, he's the same one. He was the Anna de Mikar. So Amalei Rabbi Bekacha Tapait Reini. So he said, this is how you answer. Bitmia. Hello Gama Nimoida Lacha de Ben Habain Yorish Zakeno. You're talking about the son's son. Afilba Makambas. Certainly, even the Sadukim agree that when it comes to a son, the Ben is Kalabas, and also the son's son is before the daughter. Avol Basa Bain, who the Amrin and Shatira Shabasima. What they're saying is that the son's daughter should maybe split with the daughter. So you're giving me a raya by something which isn't really talking about the same case. So I'm really shaita as we continue to Kuf Tes Zayin at Aleph. V'lote Torah shleima shalanu. Don't compare our complete Torah k'sicha b'teil shalachem, to your foolish chatter. Malabas b'noi madach, when it comes to your son's daughter. Shekein yafa koycha b'makam and achin, that she has strength in the koyach of her uncle. Terma babita shua koycha b'makam achim. So you want to compare it to your daughter who is weak in the place of her of the uncle of the brothers. V'nitzchum v'oiso hayoim asu yomtiv, and therefore he made a yomtiv. Notice these granddaughters get with the uncles, not with their aunts, says the Rashba. He didn't really want to get into it. You don't want to get into Tami Torah with people like this. It's because to them it's Sicha B'Teila. For example, the daughters of Slav, they inherited from Chefer, Aviyavihim, their father's father. Im B'nei Chefer, together with the B'nei Chefer, Shner Menosan Titan Lehem Achusas Nachal B'Toni Chachavihim. So over there, we find that. Fine, that was by that. So anyway, the point is that again, the bas know that your son's daughter is koyach, is strong, b'makam achen. Babita, the daughter is weaker. So we see even the son's daughter has a stronger koyach. So therefore, even though it's true the son's daughter is not the son's son, but it's the son's daughter, nonetheless, she will get over the daughter. The granddaughter will get over the daughter. Okay, we're going to stop there. Maybe another question over here. Question 8. Ma'hu adin benachlas shat saduk benachalei shat sadukim ha'oimrim ad shenitzchu. The bas hameis yereshas im bas ha-ben. Okay. Question TA 10. Madua etzel David nemer shchiva etzel Yoav nemer misa. Didn't do that. Question TB10. Elush neidim and nomlim mehekesh. Okay, that we did, which is the same as question 7. This is TB10. So what I write, the hekesh, either ben kodem ubas benechse imo, and the aim yarish haben shelo. If he dies, that she's yarish. That's on Kuf Tes Vav Omid Aleph. Avi ha'av shalmeis v'achi av shalmeis mikodem anachla. I don't think we did that. Adkan.